The ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. Please silence your cell phones and give a warm welcome to our honored guests, our very own American veterans.
Okay, let's go. Veterans! Veterans!
Come on. Good morning. Good morning. I am Cadet Captain Nevaeh Contreras, and it is my honor on behalf of Lorain City Schools, Mrs. Melissa Cheers, and the cadets of the Titan Battalion to welcome you here this morning. Today is the 11th day of the 11th month, Veterans Day. The Titan Battalion, along with the Lorain County Veterans Service organizations, have put together this ceremony to commemorate and celebrate America's veterans. Please stand as we honor our American freedoms and democracy as Lorain High School Titan Battalion Color Guard hosts the colors in the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner by Lorain High School's Wind Ensemble. Please remain standing for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mayor Sergeant Major, present and post the colors.
Please remain standing for the invocation presented by Cadet First Sergeant Ezekiel Makusevich, followed by, and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Ray Kershaw from the Lorain Veterans Council.
Today, we are here to honor those that have served our country and given their lives so that we may stand here and still live in freedom. We need to be constantly reminded of the gift of freedom and those who gave all to make sure future generations continue to know life in a free, democratic society. Remembering those who have passed is only half of the task before us today. We must also carry their love, honor, duty forward for the future generations that will pass. Our children must know who they were, what they did, and why they did it. To do anything less will be a disservice to their sacrifice and their memories. Those that are gone created a clear pathway for us to continue on. We must never waver from this path of freedom and democracy. Take their memories, take their dreams, and walk forward shouldering the cause of freedom. Carry it high and proud, they did. Now you must walk forward for them and our children.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to ask everyone to think about what they say when they say the pledge to our flag. Recite it to yourself one time today during the day slowly and just think about what you're saying. It's a pledge to our country. Those that are military or veterans, I'd appreciate if you would salute the flag. Those others, I would appreciate if you would put your hand over your heart while we say the pledge to the flag. By the numbers, 1, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, the Lorain High School Army Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps Honor Guard, under the commandment of Cadet Private Second Class Cameron Curry, will now present the Prisoner of War Missing in Action ceremony. The other members of the Honor Guard are Cadet Private Second Class Karina Ortiz, Cadet Private Second Class Janae Marrero, Cadet Private Second Class Jasmine Rivera, Cadet Private Second Class Jalinette Cortez, and I am Cadet Brianna Hartwig. It is an honor and privilege to introduce and acknowledge this table. This table represents and pays tributes to all the prisoners of war, missing in action and killed in action, from America's involvement in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf Desert Storm, Operations Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, and more. Many of you have looked at this table and wondered, let me explain. This table, set for 5, symbolizes the frailty of the prisoners against their oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their country's call to arms. Remember, the single candle displayed in the center of the table, symbolic of the families and loved ones who kept the faith, waiting for the return of those so dear to them. Remember, the yellow ribbon, tied so prominently on the candles, symbolizes our continued uncertainty and hope for their return and determination to account for them. Countless bear witness and demand a proper accounting for our missing. Remember, the lemon on the bread plate reminds us of their bitter fate. Remember, there is salt on the bread plate, symbolic of the tears of the families as they still wait for their loved ones to return. Remember, the glasses are inverted, They cannot toast with us tonight. Remember, the chairs are empty. They are not here. Remember, all of you who have served with them and called them brothers and sisters who depended upon their might and aid and relied upon them, remember them, for surely they have not forgotten you.
The story must be told of valor and bold. So let them write it down in history. A young soldier cries for his comrades who died, fighting for a cause that they believe. But nobody's seen or heard a sound. There was no glory on that town. We passed standing by the wall of fallen heroes. We realized that their sons are marching in the sky. Tell them that they're soldiers of the fatherland. Please tell them so they know. Tell them that they're soldiers of the fatherland. The wounds will never heal, and the feelings that they feel left a scar for all the world to see. But the eagle always flies for the men caught and died, and he flies for all eternity.
In keeping with tradition, at the 11th minute of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, we will now have our bell toll, as they do in all the churches across Europe at this time, to recall the ending of the horror of the First World War. The tolling of bells is a tradition of honor and remembrance of the 116,516 Americans who died and over 200,000 who were wounded in the Great War. Now it is my honor to introduce Mr. Mike Kacher, the Lorain Veterans Council President and the Commander AMVETS Post 47.
Thank you, Cadet Captain Contreras. Good morning. Did a great job of introducing me, but on behalf of the Vet Council Executive Board, the delegates, we'd like to extend our thanks and gratitude to Major Marshall, the Titan Battalion, and all of you for hosting, honoring, and celebrating the veterans of this great city, both living and those who have passed. And I don't want to steal Cadet Captain Contreras' thunder here. I know she's following me next, but let's talk a little bit of why we're here today. Veterans Day celebrates the service of all U.S. military veterans. A little history, just real short. World War I, the Great War, came to an end with the Treaty of Versailles on June 28, 1919. But fighting actually ceased 7 months earlier with an armistice, or a temporary cessation of fighting, that went into effect, as she eloquently stated, at the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month. It became a legal holiday, being approved May 13, 1938. I began my comments with, it's a day of celebration. So I'd like to ask if you can, each veteran here, to be recognized and celebrated. Please stand. Thank you. So now let's turn to our young folks here. As I gaze upon these young men and women, the Titan Battalion, these cadets, it gives me pride, hope, comfort that they too one day may join our ranks, that they will continue the great legacy of service that all of you veterans here today and others have demonstrated and sacrificed. Be proud to wear the uniform. Be proud. Be proud. It's an elite group we honor and celebrate today for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. Let's celebrate it all day long. Thank you.
Veterans Day, formerly known as Armistice Day, was originally set as a U.S. legal holiday to honor the end of World War I, which officially took place on November 11, 1918. In legislation that was passed in 1938, November 11th was dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be hereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. As such, this new legal holiday honored World War I veterans. In 1954, after having been through both World War II and the Korean War, the 83rd U.S. Congress, at the urging of the veterans service organizations, amended the Act of 1938 by striking out the word armistice and inserting the word veterans. With the approval of this legislation, on June 1st, 1954, November 11th became a day to honor American veterans of all wars. In 1968, the Uniforms Holiday Bill ensured 3-day weekends for federal employees by celebrating 4 national holidays on Mondays: Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Columbus Day. Under this bill, Veterans Day was moved to the 4th Monday of October. Many states did not agree with this decision and continued to celebrate the holiday on its original date. The first Veterans Day under the new law was observed with much confusion on October 25, 1971. Finally, On September 20th, 1975, President Gerald R. Ford signed a law which returned the annual observance of Veterans Day to its original date of November 11th, beginning in 1978. Since then, the Veterans Day holiday has been observed on November 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, Cadet Major Hannah Pruitt giving a speech about the meaning of today and the final roll call.
Good morning, Lorain, and welcome veterans, distinguished guests, students, and staff. It is our pleasure to hold this ceremony in recognition of Veterans Day to pay tribute and honor to the countless men and women who have served our beloved country. You see, Veterans Day is to show that the country we live in is free because of the people who have served it. It is free because men and women have signed a blank check up to and included their lives for the defense of the American way of life. We have come here today to recognize all branches of service. Veterans, please stand to be recognized when I call your branch of service. The Army.
Turn the lights off. You're all on roll.
The Navy. The Marine Corps. The Air Force. The Coast Guard. These heroes have shaped America. They have ensured that we are the home of the free because of the brave. However, in our presence today are the fortunate ones. They are the survivors. They were among those that were given the chance to come home to their family and friends. Today is not only a day to pay respect to the brave souls who have served us, but to pay tribute to the ones who could not be here with us. From Lorain, we have given up our own soldiers, sailors, Marine, and airmen who have left the great halls of our beloved Lorain schools to never return again. However, none of them knew that they would eventually give up their lives so that we, today, could sit here and honor their memories. They were just like the rest of us. They walked the exact same path that you do now, because at one point in time, they were exactly like us. It is known that the little time we have here with each other is short, maybe shorter than some would prefer, but throughout it all, the reaction when the news is sent home will always be the same. Tears will fall from families' faces. Shock will run through the veins of all best friends, good time buddies, and common acquaintances. Guilt will rack the people who never got a chance to say what they wanted to say one last time. It won't be me. That's probably what's running through your mind at this moment in time. Do you think that those fallen from Lorain and the countless others from across our great nation didn't think the same thing? They answered the call when their country needed them. That is what links these individuals sitting in front of us and the individuals who could not be here. These men and women woke up one morning fully aware that it could possibly be their last, but not necessarily believing it. Just like here in Lorain, the military is full of traditions to commemorate fallen heroes. In this gesture of honoring what so many has given to us, the Titan Battalion will be conducting a representation of the final roll call. Each cadet will have his or her name called by the Command Sergeant Major, and they will answer with, "Here, Sergeant Major." After their names have been called, we will move on to those fallen Lorain graduates who were consumed by the blazes of war. Their names will be called 3 times. Sadly, there will be no answer. Before beginning our ceremony, I would like to share a poem entitled "The Final Roll Call." We thought of you with love today, but that is nothing new. We thought of you yesterday, and days before that too. We think of you in silence. We often speak your name. Now all we have are your memories and your picture in a frame. Your memory is our keepsake, with which we'll never part. God has you keep in his keeping, and we have you in our heart.
Command Sergeant Baker, call the roll.
Battalion, attention! Cadet First Sergeant Diego Maciel.
Here, Sergeant Baker.
Cadet Private Sergio Reyes.
Here, Sergeant Baker.
Cadet Staff Sergeant David Matos. Here, Sergeant Major. Airman First Class Eric Barnes. Airman First Class Eric Barnes. Airman First Class Eric Barnes. Sergeant Bruce Warner. Sergeant Bruce Horner. Sergeant Bruce Horner. Lance Corporal David Hall. Lance Corporal David Hall. Lance Corporal David Hall. Battalion, present arms. Battalion, order arms. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the benediction and retiring of the colors.
Command Sergeant Baker, retire the colors.
Battalion, attention! Color guard. Retire the colors. Battalion, present arms. Battalion, order arms. Battalion, take seats.
Before we conclude, I'll share the benediction. If you please stand and uncover. All-knowing God, as we close this ceremony, help us to feel the gratitude of a nation to which has been given much, and from whom much will be expected in the world. Give our veterans and active duty military and their families the courage of their convictions to continue to serve, survive, and thrive through their challenges. When we walk through our lives, help us to see friendship in the faces of all our veterans and in each other. Father, to you we lift our hearts in gratitude for all here who fought so valiantly and selflessly. Thank you for those who died bravely for truth, liberty, and justice. Thank you, too, for their families. Help us to guard carefully the gifts which their loyalty and devotion passed on to us. Now may your blessings be upon these honorable individuals and their families. May they go from here in your favor. May you bless their military descendants those Americans who serve on the front line of freedom, even now. And may you bless this grand nation for which these heroes have given so much. May you keep America worthy of their devotion and sacrifice. Endeavor in your light. Amen.
Before we conclude today's ceremony, on behalf of all cadets of the Titan Battalion, I would like to extend the deepest gratitude not only to the veterans present here today, but to everyone who supported the Titan Battalion to make this a day to remember. Lorain High School's principal, Mrs. Melissa Cheers, Lorain High School's wind ensemble, directed by Mr. Ted Terhune, Lorain High School's theater director, Miss Reagan Onweller, the Lighthouse Grill culinary team led by Chef Dahlhausen and Chef Goodman. We would now ask all veterans in attendance to make your way out to the lobby to be escorted to the Lighthouse Grill.
Are y'all doing the breakfast today? No. Come on up to the lobby. Take you to lunch. Yeah, so we're perfectly fine. I can stop recording now? Wait till they walk out. Hey, you guys are welcome. Yeah, but we go around the outside. Go down the Lighthouse Grill.
At this time, we will be dismissing the students to your classes.
Get that out. You gonna play? Get that out. Yep.